Little League World Series 2019, Curacao wins international championship over Japan. Japan certainly made things interesting in the final inning, but it was Curacao who held on to win the international championship of the Little League World Series. A wild pitch in the bottom of the sixth with 2 outs scored 2 Japanese runs, but a flyout to left field on the next pitch stopped a comeback for Japan. Curacao won 5-4 to advance to its first LLWS title game since 2005. More, Little League World Series 2019 scores, bracket and schedule. Curley Martha was the star for Curacao on both the mound and the plate. A 2-run homer from Martha in the fifth opened up a 3-run lead. Martha continued to mow through Japanese batters for the final 3 innings before the wild pitch at the end. On a negative note for Curacao, Martha exceeded the 20-pitch threshold, meaning he is not eligible to pitch again on Sunday. Curacao, a small island nation of 162,000, has just one lone LLWS title that came in 2004. Its appearance in Sunday's championship against either Hawaii or Louisiana is the first time since 2009 that the international representative isn't from Japan or South Korea. Sporting News tracked live updates of the international championship between Japan and Curacao. Follow along below. Little League World Series live score, updates, highlights from Japan vs Curacao. All times Eastern. Final, Curacao 5, Japan 4. 2:53 p.m., a flyout ends this, and Curacao is the 2019 international champion. 2:52 p.m., a pitch gets by Curaçao's catcher, and 2 runs score. Japan has a runner on third. Curacao leads 5-4 with 2 outs. 2:50 p.m., it's a 7-pitch walk. Bases are loaded with 2 outs. 2:47 p.m., huge strikeout. Curacao is 1 out away. 2:46 p.m., a shallow blooper drops. The tying run is at the plate with runners on second and third. 2:44 p.m., Japan has life as it has 1 on second with 1 out. 2:43 p.m., Japan's first batter is retired on just 2 pitches. 2:39 p.m., 2 strikeouts and a flyout end the top of the 6th quickly. Japan has 3 outs left to try and win the international championship. End 5th, Curacao 5, Japan 2. 2:32 p.m., a strikeout ends the inning. Headed to the final frame. 2:31 p.m., he is walked, bringing the tying run to the plate. 2:29 p.m., Japan's cleanup hitter is up with 2 outs and 1 on. 2:25 p.m., big double for Japan to lead off. Martha has crossed the 20-pitch threshold, meaning he would be ineligible to pitch tomorrow should Curacao win. 2:20 p.m., a ground out and a strikeout stops the bleeding for Japan. Curacao leads by 3 heading to the bottom of the 5th. It will be interesting to see how many pitches Martha throws, if Curacao wants to preserve him for the final tomorrow. 2:17 p.m., another big hit for Curacao lands deep in left field. It's good for a double with 1 out. 2:11 p.m., Curley Martha is dominating on the mound, and now at the plate. He crushes a 2-run homer, his 3rd of the LLWS. Curacao leads 5-2. Japan will change pitchers. End 4th, Curacao 3, Japan 2. 2:07 p.m., and Curacao responds in similar quick fashion. 3 up, 3 down. 2:01 p.m., a great grab by Japan's center fielder ends a quick half-inning. In 3rd, Curacao 3, Japan 2. 1:55 p.m., the pitching change paid off, as Japan strands 2 runners. 1:50 p.m., Curacao is changing pitchers with 1 out in the 3rd and Japanese runners on 1st and 3rd. 1:46 p.m., a ball struck down the 3rd baseline scores 2 for Japan. Curacao leads 3-2. 1:37 p.m., no further damage sustained for Japan. This 3-run deficit is the largest it's faced this LLWS. 1:33 p.m., wow, this was maybe an inch from being a grand slam. A Curacao hit off the wall scores 2. Curacao leads 3-0 with runners on second and third and no outs. 1:32 p.m., bases are loaded. 1:29 p.m., another Japanese error, and Curacao has runners on first and third with no outs. 1:27 p.m., Profar hits one hard off the wall and has a stand-up double for Curacao. And second, Curacao 1, Japan 0. 1:22 p.m., Japan is unable to capitalize on its first base runner, as the next three Japanese players are retired. And second, Curacao 1, Japan 0. 1:17 p.m., Japan gets its first batter of the inning on base, and he advances to second on a ground out. 1:10 p.m., 3 up, 3 down in the top of the second. Japan will now see if they can get a hit. 1:04 p.m., quick work for Curacao as Japan fails to record a hit in the first inning. We move to inning number 2, Curacao leads 1-0. 1 p.m., Curacao strikes out Japan's first batter. 12:56 p.m., after the first three batters reached for Curacao, Japan settled down and retired 3 straight. Curacao leads 1-0 heading to the bottom of the first. 12:51 p.m., Curacao gets on the board early thanks to Japan's first error of the LLWS. A bad throw to third allows Profar to score. The first 3 Curacao batters have reached. 12:47 p.m., Profar walks. It's just the third walk issued by a Japanese pitcher this series. 12:46 p.m., Japan is the home team, and its first pitch is a ball, away, to Profar. 12:36 p.m., looks like a gorgeous day in Williamsport for the International.